Dr. Sharad Kohli also with us on the broadcast. Sharad, your thoughts as well. How would you describe or how do you remember Ratan Tata?
Well, good morning, Devika. Indeed, a sad moment for India as a country, sad moment for the industry, and sad moment for all the beneficiaries of his magnanimous personality in the last few years that we saw. On a personal note, I would say I had the privilege of meeting him 2, 3 times. Once I remember I was at a startup symposium and I had a startup promoter, a young startup promoter with me whom I introduced to Mr. Tata, that especially when he had developed this fondness to fund the startups and he was really looking for those promising talents. And, I remember this young man asked him, I was sitting there, that, sir, this seems like a very risky affair to me. What is your opinion about the risk? Should I take it? Is it worth taking or not taking? You've been a doyen of the Indian industry. You know what he said? He said the biggest risk is not taking a risk. I still remember, and his words, they got imbibed and registered in me that business is about risk. And I think Mr. Ratan Tata proved that beyond doubt that this is how business has grown. If today Tata is there in 80 plus countries, it is because of Mr. Ratan Tata. If today, Tata is $100 billion plus, I remember when he took over as chairman, Tata was about $2.5 billion or so. Crossing $100 billion plus is all because of Mr. Ratan Tata. Brands like, I remember when we used to consume salt, this Tata Namak, the iodine namak, the iodine salt. He was the brain behind making sure that the goiter, the disease of goiter where people used to have at that time, it disappeared from the lives of people because of iodine mixed salt that he introduced. In numerous achievements, internationally, Tata Chorus, Jaguar, Land Rover, Tata Tetley, these were the brands when the critics at that time had their own opinion that, Mr. Ratan Tata is taking a big risk, but he proved them all wrong. And today, these brands stand integrated with the Tata Group, and Tata Group and India as a country, Devika, takes pride in the fact that we today are the owners, we are the home to some of the world's largest brands set up. I mean, it is not that India looks up at global brands and says, oh, we don't have a global brand of ours. He believed in himself and he went for these acquisitions. I mean, if you use today Tata Sky, Tata Play as we call it today, it is because of Mr. Ratan Tata's vision. I mean, he transformed the whole I would say, scope of doing business in India. He transformed the whole brand building, as we say. The best part, Devika, of Mr. Ratan Tata was he believed in promoting the corporate. There are two ways you grow a business. One is you grow yourself. You become rich yourself. Not that he was any less wealthy in that sense. A man who donated 60% of his wealth for charity can only and only be admired at this time. We can only remember him for all that. I'm a product of the Harvard University. And I remember visiting with pride every time I used to go to the Tata Memorial Hall, which he created. It used to make me feel proud that I come from a country when this prestigious university today has a hall coming from an Indian industrialist. I think that is the legacy of Mr. Tata. And, for last few years, Devika, a remarkable thing which happened to his personality at a personal level, I'm telling you, because I had the privilege of meeting him during that phase, was that philanthropy in him suddenly evolved. Not that he wasn't a philanthropist earlier, but the business kept him busy. And the moment he took retirement and became the chairman emeritus of Tata's in 2012, I remember, I think his interest was solely focused on education, on charities, on promoting startups, promoting young entrepreneurs. His life became dedicated for the last 12 years, totally for the others. I think this transformation, Devika, I know a lot of industrialists, not that I mean to demean any industrialist for that matter, but I haven't seen this landmark transformation in the lives of people who have been in industry, who've been in money, who've been in capital formation, capital building all their life. And suddenly, he said that openly, that it is not what you have earned in your life, the money or the wealth you have earned. It is what you have done in your life for other people. That is what matters at the end. I think we saw, he was a saintly figure at the end of his, career, I would say in the last 10, 12 years. I saw Mr. Ratan Tata transforming from being an industrialist to a saint, literally, from whatever he used to say. So modest, so humble. When I met him, he stood up from his place. I mean, I was an ordinary economist at that time. I had just started about practicing economics at that time. He stood up. He stood up for the young startup guy whom I introduced. He said, "No, I respect you. Who knows? You tomorrow you may be a big industrialist." So that was the magic of Mr. Ratan Tata's personality. Extremely, I think there's a huge vacuum he's created in the Indian industry, in the country as a whole. I recommend Devika, although I'm nobody to recommend this. This is not a panel, but my heart cries out. I think he should be a rightful, be deserving Bharat Ratna posthumously. I think he deserves, with all the credit and all the good work he's done for the country and the industry.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.